Candace Owens, big fans, right? We're big fans. Our favorite lady. Candace Owens interviewed Andrew Tate. And this is what happened.
We're Christian, and, I definitely do not know enough about the Islamic faith to sit here and debate you on it. I'm never a person that will debate somebody on something that I'm not an expertise on. Yeah. But I will say that I'm sad that you're not a Christian anymore, because I can sense perhaps it's because you felt that Christians weren't doing a good job defending their beliefs.
Yeah, I think that God should be feared. I believe that God should be feared. I fear God. It's one of the only things I fear when I was in an Islamic country. If I went to an Islamic country, I felt God. You don't feel any God. How is it a Christian country if Satanists are mocking Jesus on the streets?
I understand what you're saying. If you're thinking that America is a Christian country and you're thinking that the Christianity is getting it wrong. Yeah. And the truth is that America is no longer a Christian country. We're being run by people that are satanic. Hollywood is satanic, and Hollywood is running America. Right. So you're not wrong. But I think that right now America is facing a spiritual battle, and for the first time in a very long time, Christians are starting to stand up and speak about our principles.
I hope so.
And I could have used you.
All right, so that's Candace Owens. So earlier today, we said we weren't going to hold people's past against them. Yeah. So we're going to try our best not to do that with Candace, because I have a lot of problems with her. Yeah. Let's just try and focus on this segment. Now, Jeremiah, please help me out. I don't know anything about this man, Andrew Tate. Yeah. I hear his name I don't even know what you mean. I hear his name all the time. Yeah. Who is he?
Andrew Tate is he's a media personality, businessman, former professional kickboxer. Recently he got caught up in a human trafficking charge. Allegedly. And and then also he's kind of like, he's been on those Fresh and Fit kind of conversations. And he got kicked off of a lot of platforms because of that as well. But the interesting thing is he grew up Christian and then became atheist, and then he became Muslim. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. And I think the reason why she was so gung-ho about him being on the Christian side was because he represents a manly man. Oh. You know what I'm saying? Like a man's man kind of mentality. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's a lot of agendas that I have to kind of fight through to get to the core of this, because she's saying a lot when she says, America's not a Christian country because of this and that. She's saying that for a reason. She's not wrong, but she's saying it because she represents a movement, conservative Republican movement, that's trying to say that we need to kind of take back our country, that type of thing. Yeah. So she's saying that for a reason. She's not just saying that as like a completely straight Christian, right? Andrew Tate, I think what he's saying is interesting too, with the whole God should be feared, and because he's not feared in this country, this means this country is not a Christian country. It's not.
Yeah, no, never.
It's not. Yeah, that's not up for debate. What does that have to do with you being a Christian? That's what I was waiting to find out. Like, what does that have to do with you?
Well, I think because he was saying that's why he turned to Muslim, because in Muslim country they actually live out Islam, and it's like they live their Quran to the T, and they punish people if you break the laws of their Islamic faith.
So he sees it as a sign of strength.
Yeah, but what he's saying for us is, y'all saying y'all a Christian country, but y'all let Satanists just go and do anything, mock Jesus and everything. I mean, he's right on that level. It's like, if the country's supposed to be Christian, then why doesn't it look Christian? Yeah. But the back thing is also too, it's just like I think it's almost like I ain't gonna say that, but it just feels like when somebody's life don't line up what they're talking about, but they still preaching. Yeah. I think that's what a lot of people were kind of like, what? Like, you know what I mean?
Now, what's interesting, you said they don't have Jesus. They do have Jesus. They just don't have Jesus as Lord. Yeah. They have Jesus as Messiah, prophet. Yeah. They don't have Jesus as God.
They don't have Jesus as a savior.
Exactly. Not in the sense that we have. Yeah.
And so I feel like, I mean, you're talking about living through legalism and law. I mean, same way the Old Testament was so harsh in punishment. And then when Jesus came down on the cross for our sins and gave us that freedom back, it's like, that's the part that you're missing. That's what it feels like he's saying, because, the Islamic faith, they are very, they're very legalistic. They're very traditional in the sense that, you know, the prayer time and what they believe. But also very harsh, like Jeremiah was saying, like the punishment, you know, banning family members and killing family members is just,
and it's swift.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That to me is like
shut up.
That to me is what throws me off when I hear people say stuff like that. Like I get that we should be fearing God, but I'm looking at it like, but God knew how this was all playing out. Like he knew this was going to be our reaction in this day and age. It was going to get worse before it gets better. I mean,
you know what's interesting? I think what you said is actually part of the issue. It isn't that different than what Islam believes. I think this is. Let's figure this out. Mm-hmm. The legalism you speak of and the punishment that you speak of, mm-hmm. that still exists. That didn't go away.
Yeah.
The only difference.
To a degree.
No. It never did. Like there's a whole thing that God says, I'm not coming to replace the law, but to fulfill it.
Fulfill it.
It's all still there. The capital punishment happened to him.
Yeah.
The punishment that you still deserve right now happened to him.
Yeah.
The legalism that we should still be held to by the letter of the law happened to him. Mm-hmm. The only reason you feel some sense of freedom is because he did it for you. It's not because it doesn't exist anymore.
Exist, right.
And I think that's where I think he does have a slight point that because we feel like, oh, that stuff is just gone, that people who call themselves Christians feel they can do whatever they want. Right, there's no consequence. The only difference is, and the only reason why it feels like it is literally because of grace, meaning you still deserve it.
Yeah.
But I've done it for you, and I'm giving you grace. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it didn't go away. The only difference between us and Islam is that they don't recognize Jesus as God and as the forgiveness for the sins and all the things that they're working towards. They think they can do it themselves. And he said, no, you can't. It's impossible. Mm-hmm. The whole reason this law, this legalism was given was to show you that you can't do it.
Right.
That's the point of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's where the lines get crossed. God never said that this stuff is gone. If Jesus never came or we were still waiting for him, this would still apply exactly the same way as it does now.
Yeah.
It's only a gift of grace that you feel this freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're still doing the same. You're still committed. You should be as committed as a Muslim to their faith, but now you're doing it out of love instead of obligation. Wow. That's the only difference.
And when I talk about that, when I say legalism and tradition, I'm really talking about like I'm really talking about the Old Testament, right? I've been doing a lot of reading about Judaism lately. Mm-hmm. Hasidic Jews and what they believe, because I work for a Jewish company now, and I'm on Zoom and I see stuff and I'm like, I need to go look this up.
Allegedly,
yeah. I need
yeah, you're supposed to be saying that.
Yeah, that's fine. And so I look things up to try to figure out, okay, what's going on here? Like, what are you talking about it? Yeah. And a lot of what I'm reading about, you know, kosher meats and things like that, like those are things that we do. Right? But we don't necessarily feel like we have to live that law anymore. Like that, we're not under that law. Mm-hmm. So that's what I think when people see, Western Christianity, they think that we're not living under the laws of God.
But still, I think he has a point of saying that if it's a nation saying y'all Christian, even though if you compare it from his state or whatever country he's in, if he, let's say Dubai, if Islam is like if you're saying your country is a Christian nation, yes, we do have free will. Yes.
I just feel like
or yes, we do have free will. Yes, we do. It is not laws, but at the same time, morally, if somebody was a Muslim looking at country to country, it's like, y'all like that's why they always like when you see people from when they show other nations talking and stuff. That's why they always be like, "How dare America criticize this when they got this going on, this going on, this going on?" And I think what I'm getting from him is that sometimes we use that state of but we got Jesus and we got free will, but at the same time, if you got Jesus, you shouldn't look a mess.
Is it the only thing that made this country Christian? Is it the founding fathers making it under God?
What they're saying is built on Christian principles.
But I feel like
principle.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like whoever can say that we are a Christian nation or have been a Christian nation. Over time, we've been a nation under God, and God exists in so many different realms in the minds of people. But necessarily, no one's, Christ isn't in the Pledge of Allegiance. Christ isn't on the bills that we print. So
maybe what if the founding fathers, let's be real, what if the founding fathers was just like rappers, singers who get on stage and said, "I want to thank God." Yeah. Meaning that it was... We don't know what God they're talking about.
Right.
And we're not living our lives.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So we don't know. I'm about to say weak Christian, but the misguided, misled Christian who automatically thinks, oh, they're talking about the God of the Bible, so they're a Christian.
Well, I do think we have to pay respect a little bit to what was unique about America was the freedom to be a Christian.
Yeah, I always agree with that.
So So there were some very key important characters that had the freedom to bring Christian principles into this country. Yeah. So that's what feels different is that there are some key Christians along the way that were able to instill godly principles into the country as we go. It's now our turn and we're not doing as good of a job. That's what I think is happening here. Yeah. Is that there's always been major sin issues in the country. Yeah. There's major non-Christian elements to the country. And it was each generation's job for somebody to step up, Martin Luther King, whoever, to step up and say, all right, but God says. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think we're in the era now, and people like Andrew Tate are starting to notice, nobody is really saying, but God says. And the people who have agendas that are not godly.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem that we're dealing with is people who are, it's saying, God, Jesus, but then it's really packaged with something else. It's not biblical Christianity. It's biblical Christianity and this, biblical Christianity and that. It's Christian and that, you know what I'm saying? But it's never pure Christianity that if America really got pure Christianity from the Bible, then we will see things change in our nation.
And I would say that there are even the people who we're saying that about. I think the root of it was a genuine effort to bring Christ to the nation. Yeah. Like there were people along the way that genuinely loved Jesus and genuinely tried to build institutions to try to combat what they saw was going on wrong in the world. Yeah. The problem is the children of those people and their children may not have the same heart as the people in the past, and they see it as an opportunity for personal success. Yeah. And it's corrupted it slightly. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't want to just, disregard all the work of our, people that came before us in the faith. They did a lot of great things over the years in this country.
But see, I think what I'm saying is I'm not talking about the people the missionaries, the people who, like a lot of HBCUs were started as missionaries, churches and schools and stuff like that. Yeah. So we're not talking about them. We're talking about founding fathers who started this country, but were really Masons, or they were really into the occult, but they use Christian principles, like you said, and making people think this country was a Christian nation.
So let's get back to Andrew Tate, because again, I don't know him. Yeah. She's saying we needed Andrew Tate. Is that true?
I think what she was saying is we need a man like Andrew Tate
who speaks with the boldness of Andrew Tate.
That's what I got.
That's what I felt. Or somebody of his influence because I think for a lot of women and women that's like Candace Owens, I feel like they're like, we need godly men and men who would stand up for truth. And that's what she's probably saying.
But is that him is what I'm asking. Was that ever him?
I don't believe so.
No. That's all I don't know.
I mean, well, because there's also, I think one of y'all used the word earlier, misogyny built in when it comes to him. He is the manly man, but also, like Jeremiah said, it's packaged with something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's saying some good stuff, but it's also packaged with something else. So, you got to see what's coming.
Mark Rogers says, God doesn't need anyone, so Andrew Tate isn't needed.
Right, but
that's real.
Speaking about Andrew Tate,
people. We need people.
Yeah.
If the allegations against him are true, wouldn't he be like number one against? Like, wouldn't he be violating some of the biggest cultural beliefs of Islam?
Of course, yes.
So then, what is he talking about?
Well, I think also too,
he's the problem.
But see,
allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly, he's the problem.
No, but what I think another thing too is in that country, if you're talking about a Dubai, they're looking at stuff of people kind of like America when it's like somebody's rich and famous and like wow that could be cured as a man. That can if I you know what I'm saying, like if I do the things he do, maybe I can get that same car, that same girlfriend or the same lifestyle that he has. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking in that country, that country is like us in the 50s and the 40s back in those days where it was like, your wife look up, why you looking up? You know what I mean? On some stuff, you know what I'm saying? Why you not covered? You know what I mean? And that's just being how they roll. That's true. So I think those things is what I think people, when you watch that whole clip, when you watch the whole thing, because they talk about different topics, and you get to that, they talk about women in America, they talk about different things of that nature, and it led up to that Christianity talking point about, I wish there was more men out here like you. Yeah. Where you stand for something versus just following these ladies everywhere they're going or follow society's tone.
Well, I think there needs to be more people like the people in our chat, the people in our community who are seeking to have an authentic, pure relationship with Jesus and have that overflow into the world around them so that it could change for the better. That's all I care about. I don't care how famous you are, how charismatic you are, how, whatever you are. We just need people, man. Like it says, the harvest is plenty, but the workers are few, right? We just need more people that are honestly, seriously just about Jesus and just trying to do his work. Like I'm tired of these celebrity dudes that are just out for their own gain. Yeah. We just need, that's enough.
Yeah, I get it, but there's a lot to clean up too. There's a lot to clean up.
All right, man, let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Wright to Shantan and DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.